Welcome everybody. Thank you very much for showing up to our little webinar on posing hands. Yeah. I appreciate very much that quite a few people showed up, even though it's clear to me for some of you it's quite late or quite early. So I'm very, how to say that, thankful for you showing up over here. I'm Michael Selbe. I will explain a little bit about posing hands, about my view of posing hands. I will give a little introduction to the topic from my side. And afterwards, I will take your questions, whatever questions you have got around this topic, of course. The rules of the house are I will record the first part where I will give an introduction. I usually do not record the questions which are coming later on. At least when I unmute you and you speak on camera, then I usually do not record that unless you tell me to do so. But the first part is recorded and can be replayed. Of course, like always, technology can go bad. And in this case, then, well, we just have the live session. Whatever. We are now together, have a cozy live session. And I would say, let's start. I prepared a little mind map, which you see now on the screen. Mind map with my thoughts on posing hands. Let's start with that. First of all, I would like to motivate why. Why is it so important? Why did I choose posing hands as the first topic for 2013 in one of my webinars? Well, for me, it's very important because I feel like hands in a photograph express as much as the face of a person. Yeah, hands express really a lot. And the other thing is bad hands ruin a photo, which otherwise would be good. Yeah, bad hands ruin a photo. And we will later on come to the point, what are bad hands? And we probably can give a little demonstration what I mean. Hands express as much as the face. Honey, can you probably come? Let's say we are talking or we are taking a photo of a couple, like the two of us, and what typically happens then, for instance, on wedding photos and so on, is photographers pose somehow the head together, like this would already be quite good. Heads together, yeah, that's quite nice. That is a couple, I would say. This is cool. But compare this. Let's have a look into the camera over there. Compare this with we are using our hands. Yeah, we now touch over here. I will move the camera a bit down. Touch over there. Same pose. Yeah, isn't that so much more, so much more intimate? Even if we would now take our head away from each other, let's say if she has got the hand over here and I over here, yeah, it's very intimate. We don't express anything with our face, just with the hands. And this is true for a lot of situations. Yeah. At the same time, it's true bad hands ruin a photo. I don't know. Can you probably give an example of bad hands? Something like we'll come up over here. Yeah. Oh, probably just really close. Yeah, what would be bad hands where we don't see some fingers? Can do it up. Wait, move this one down. Yeah, for instance. Do again. All right, I hope everybody sees it now. Now she got 3 fingers over here and the 4th one is missing. The thumb is missing. This is kind of like a bird's claw or something. Yeah, not really pleasant. This is bad hands, and no matter if the photo is good otherwise, this would typically ruin a photo. Yeah, maybe don't know if the video is fast enough to bring it across, but let's try. Maybe let's make some examples how much hands can express. Can you make any expression with your hands whatsoever? Yeah. All right. What does it say? Is that a good expression or a bad expression? I think it communicates something. It communicates she wants to talk to another person. She's explaining something. Yeah, just with the hands. Can you make something else? Just anything? I think that would be a negative expression. To me, it looks like she's pushing away. Yeah, she wants to protect herself. Make any other expression. Oh, that's a strong one. I would say with this photo, she's aggressive, or she's really willing to fight. Yeah, and all of that is expressed just with the hands, no face, no body as such, no body posing, just with the hands. Yeah. All right, thank you, honey. So let me rescue you from from our webcam video over here. All right, so much motivation. Why? Let's go into the how. Yeah, and in my mind map, I would like to demonstrate the three holy hand rules. Yeah, this is something, it's probably not so holy. It's something that I came up with, but it's the three rules for posing hands. Yeah? And first one is battle bad hands. And we will have some more examples of what I mean with bad hands. Yeah? Second rule is show the sides. That is, show hands from the profile. Don't, well, at least usually don't show the palm, don't show the back of the hand. Now show them from the sides. The third one, the third holy rule is bend beautifully. What I mean is bend the fingers, bend the wrist beautifully. Yeah, don't make it badly. And we will go into details for any of this, I would say. Yeah, I mean, we have got a couple of minutes, so let's go into the details. The number one rule, battle bad hands. Yeah, what are bad hands? Amputated fingers, like we've seen, deformed hands, or what I would call broken bones. Yeah, when you've got the wrist so bent, it's just looking broken. And I've got in my ebook, I've got a couple of examples which I can call up over here as well quickly to illustrate the point. This would, for instance, be a bad hand. Yeah, the fist, the fingers are missing, the wrist is so bent. That would be, for a magazine editor, that would already be a bad hand. Next example, parts of her fingers are covered by her buttocks. This would already be a bad hand. The next thing which is bad about it is how her wrist is bent to the inside. It's nearly looking like it's breaking. So that would be a bad hand as well. Another example, this is where she has got two amputated fingers, I would say. I mean, she folded away the fingers, and for her it might be even natural, but on the photo, the viewer might ask themselves, hey, does she actually have the two fingers? Or are they amputated? So this is all examples of bad hands. And an example for a good hand would be this one. The fingers are, yes, they have a natural position. I can see all the fingers. The hand is in shadow actually, so it doesn't command so much attention. That would be how we want to do it. All right. So much for bad hands. Let's go on to the next golden rule. That is show the sides. Now, like I said, the back of the hand is kind of big, and probably we will have to look into some examples after we discussed all the rules. The palm is prominent, also means that the palm is too big, it commands too much attention, and especially if you photograph women, age shows a back, meaning the age of a woman shows pretty severely on the back of her hand. This is where all the wrinkles start to show, the blood vessels start to show. And if we've got a photographic lighting with a lot of shades and a lot of light, then this effect is usually amplified. So a hand on a photo with an interesting light might look much older than in reality. And this is always the case when you show the back of the hand. So try to show hands from the side, try to show the profile. Let me make one caveat over here. Would I get all of this right every time? No, absolutely not. No way. I shoot a lot of photos with bad hands. I shoot a lot of photos where I don't show the hands from the side. A lot of times because I didn't pay attention in this particular moment. Sometimes also because I want to break the rules. I want to express something else. Yeah, so don't worry if you don't get this right in your shoots a lot of times. Yeah, just practice to get it right so that more often than not you can take control of the things and you know what you are doing. Yeah, but don't beat yourself up if you shoot a lot of photos where you break the rules. That's okay. Let's go to the third golden rule or the third holy rule of hand posing. This is bend beautifully. Like we had in the examples, if we bend the wrist too much, then it's looking like a broken bone. Yeah. Slightly bent is supreme, meaning if you bend the fingers a little bit, then it's looking usually good. Third thing is fist is for fighters. If you bend it so much that the model is making a fist, then it usually looks like she wants to fight. Sometimes you might want that. Usually you probably don't want that. Now, let us have a look at some examples that Emily and I did shoot prior to this webinar just to illustrate the points. The back of the hand, it's so big. If you have a look, it's much bigger than her boobs actually show in this photo. It commands so much attention. That is why usually we don't want to show it like that. Big back. If we show it from the side, golden rule, show it from the side, it's getting much smaller. It's the same hand and the same, pretty much the same photo. It's just turned to the side. The fingers are bent slightly, and all of a sudden it's feminine, it's soft, it commands much less attention. Of course, for male models, you sometimes want it different, but if you don't want to draw all attention to the hand, then don't shoot it like that. Spread fingers, big hand, backside. Shoot it like this. Yeah, profile. Fingers slightly bent, fingers together. Let me show another thing. Yeah, very innocent photographs. On this photograph, we are showing one hand from the back, which is pretty big, while on the other one, we move the hand slightly up, show it from the profile, from this side, much smaller. On the other side, we show the back of the hand, and you see over here how all the blood vessels show, how old this hand is looking. I mean, of course, you can retouch that in Photoshop, but why do so? Why have the blood vessels over here and over there showing? If you can just hide the back of the hand a little bit or show it from the side, and then you've got much less problems. Yeah. While we are at that, while we are showing a hand at the arm, another little tip, not according to the golden rule, but pretty important as well. If the model has got nails like over here, make sure she's not grabbing or she's burying her nails in her own flesh. I mean, Emily doesn't have much fat or meat to put nails in, but if she slightly pushes her nails against her muscles, and it's already looking like she will punch holes into her own arm, and that's not good. And this is particularly not good when it happens at the face. Yeah, this is really looking awkward, but it happens very fast. So pay attention to that, your model is not grabbing into the meat unless you want it. And we might have time to look at some examples where we want it. Alrighty, hands at the face. This is also one topic on its own. This is dangerous, grabbing the face with fingernails. This is much less dangerous, just touching the face lightly. Now showing the hands from the side, the fingers are bent a little bit, and it touches the face. Much better, but pretty artificial. If we go in and turn the whole thing a little bit, it's a little bit better, but still artificial. However, let's go into this part. She's holding her face. This is already, I would say, a nice expression. Yeah, this is natural. She's holding her face, but notice how soft and gentle that is. Her hands are barely touching her face. There's even a lot of space between the hands and her cheeks. Yeah, so if you pose hands, make them barely touching something. Don't make them grabbing into something. And we can vary this topic, hands on the face. This would be a very, very classical feminine hand posing. Yeah, the hands are not really folded together. That would look awkward as well, but they're posed like this. One hand is slightly reaching into the other hand, and face is resting on the hand. Again, notice that there's a lot of space, but the photo works. So always be soft with your touches, soft with your hands. If it's about female models, and if you want to have female or a female feeling, of course, you can get more extreme, like this. This got much more attitude. However, I would say this is a bad hand. Why? Point A, I'm showing the back of the hand, but for this pose, I probably want that. But point B, the fingers are forming a fork, more or less. So that is a bad hand, I would say. Take the holy rule number 3, slightly bend is supreme. We bend the fingers a little bit, and all of a sudden it's looking much more pleasant. Now, the only issue that I still have is it's the back of the hand, so I can slightly turn it, or I can turn my camera position like this. It's pretty much the same thing. The hand is over here, close to her lips, but now I'm photographing her from the front, so I see the hands from the side. Another holy rule, show the sides. All right, so much for hands on the face. How about hands in the hips? Probably, if you're shooting a lot of models, that is a quite common situation for a lot of you. We heard fist is for fighters. So if the model is stemming her fist into the onto her hip, it might feel natural to her. It's looking like a fighting mode on the photo. Don't do that. Another thing which models naturally do is they grab their hips with her thumb. But if she's grabbing her hips and the thumb is hidden, it's hidden behind her back more or less, and that makes it a bad hand, a hand with 4 fingers. No good. We can rescue that a little bit by telling her, hey, just show me all fingers, make some pose which it's natural for you, but where I see your fingers, this is one thing. But it's still looking a bit distorted to me. Might feel natural to her, but the photo, it's distorted. In this situation, I would go to a safe shot. A safe shot, meaning I will tell her, show me all her fingers, put them flat onto the hip, slightly bend all the fingers, and that is working for me. Now, this would be a hand on a hip, which is natural and working. Now, you could argue that it's better to put the fingers together, all right? But for me, the important thing is all fingers are shown, no amputated fingers. It doesn't look deformed. So that would be how I would solve it if I have to do a safe shot, which definitely works. Hands on the hips and trousers. How about this? It's probably natural for a model to put her hand partially into the trousers, but on the photo it looks like the fingers are cut it off. It might look okay in reality. On a photo, no, it's a bad hand. We don't want that. What can we do with the hand on the trousers? Let me see. This would be one variation. She's not putting her fingers into the trousers, but just her thumb. However, now the thumb is amputated, right? Also not ideal. Much better, but not ideal, not so good. What I would do is this, the third variation. Thumb in the trousers, okay, this is a very relaxed pose, but let it come out of the trousers so much that I at least can see the thumb. Then the rest of the fingers, again, slightly bent, and so that I mostly see the side. This is how I would pose it at the trousers. Very similar thing, posing it in some pockets on the jacket. How about this one? Yeah, this is a really bad hand, of course. 2 fingers are just cut it off, totally amputated. It's looking like a claw. We don't want that. What can we do? We can tell, put your hand completely into the pocket, but then it's gone. And if a thumb is reaching out, it's still a bad hand, right? It's still somehow amputated. What we could do is something like this. The thumb is going into the pocket. Over here, it's still not ideal because I don't see the thumb, but it's already much better. It's much more graceful and feminine than yeah, this claw or burying it in a pocket. Same jacket. How about she has got the hand over here on the color of the jacket. Grabbing the thing like this is natural, but on a photo it looks like a fist. So that would be a fighting fist with a smiling face. Yeah, the photo doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. What can we do? How about this? Turn the hand again so that I can see it from the side. Fingers are bent, in this case even a bit more. Yeah, and now I can see the fingers and I see she's grabbing the fabric over here. It's looking much more feminine, much more soft. Again, the holy rule, show the sides. Another thing with the jacket, opening a zipper. I asked Emily to open the zipper and this is what she did. First thing. This is how she would open a zipper. However, how is it looking at the photo? Like a fist. She's fighting. She's boxing into the lens. Not good. Not good as a photographer. So what can we do? We could do it like this with our golden rule. Show the hand from the side, fingers slightly bent. This is fine, but I don't see that she's opening the zipper. It's looking much better, but I don't see the action of opening it. Yeah. I could do it like this, have her holding the zipper. That's also good according to our rules, but still not showing opening a zipper. So what I would do, if possible, is actually this. Let's get rid of these examples here. Now she's got the zipper between a finger and her thumb. All fingers are shown. It's slightly bent, and she's now pulling it down. Pulling it down. Of course, I can see a lot of the back of the hand, so I could have done this better. But this is what would express for me already opening a zipper, just with the hand. Yeah. All right. Another example, a medium close-up shot. The hands are okay according to our three holy rules. Yeah, we show the sides of the hands; they are slightly bent. So all of that would be okay, but it's still looking awkward. Yeah, this can happen when you try to absolutely play by the rules, and you definitely want to enforce that the hands are posed according to rules. So all the rules I give you are good, but then again, if you try too hard, it might also destroy your photo. So take them lightly. This is what I want to express. For instance, this photo, I changed it a little bit. I asked her to place a hand on her hips. It's still according to our rules. The fingers are slightly bent. We see the sides. And also over here, we took it now down to her neck. And now it's looking for me pretty natural. Yeah, this one would work. However, this one, technically correct, but artistically, well, questionable. All right, another example. If you're into nudes, you shoot nude photos. This is how a model would often cover her nipples. Yeah, when you have these classic photos where the model is holding a hand over her breast to cover the nipples, yeah, a lot of times it shows the back of the hand completely, and then the back is so big in the photo, it commands so much attention. It's not good. Yeah, the other hand over here in the photo, it's cut it off because the fingertips are hiding behind her shoulder. Also not nice. So how would I rescue the photo? How about this? Just the hand is just turned to the side so that I see more of the profile. Now the boobs are still covered. That's still okay. However, now the hand doesn't command so much attention. Same over here. It's at the side of her face. Fingers are slightly bent. I see the side. Doesn't command so much attention. And it's looking naturally. Let's have a quick recap of our rules over here. Our three holy rules. So we have seen battle bad hands, watch out for bad hands and make them away, pose them differently. Show the sides, show the profile. It doesn't matter which side, the thumb side or the other side, but show the profile more than the back or the palm, and bend them beautifully. Yeah, care for nice angles, nothing extreme. Yeah, no right angles, no folded together fingers or something like that. There's a couple of other things which are not part of my three holy rules, but which are important as well. Um, One thing is avoid hands on body flaws, especially with female models. Yeah, if they've got parts of their body that they don't want to draw attention to, then sometimes you try to hide it by placing a hand over it, but usually this really draws attention to exactly that spot. Yeah, so when you later on look at the photo, it probably doesn't really show the flaw, but it's not really pleasant, at least not for the model. Yeah, so avoid hands on body flaws. Next thing is avoid two hands together, like hands are touching each other. Usually that's not very pleasant. That's pretty boring or pretty shy. Now, sometimes you want to have that, but usually avoid it. Try to place the hands on different parts of the model's body. And the third tip is point the fingertips when you want to have particularly graceful photos. Now, point the fingertips. Not always, but especially if you've got artistic nudes or something like that, then this would be helpful. I probably can give an example of that. Because I think I'm done with the mind map. Yeah. The thing is, I would encourage you to make a couple of practice sessions where you just care about the posing of the hands and not so much about all the other stuff. Yeah. Just to practice it. And as an example of how that might look, I can show something of Cousin Coco over here. That was a session when I pretty much mostly cared about pointing fingertips, for instance. Let me bring that up. All right, so Cousin Coco on the floor, and over here fingertips are pointed. This was what I was caring about. Over there on her body, fingertips are pointing. Next photo, fingertips pointing on her leg, fingertips pointing on her knee. Over here, I probably overdid it a bit because the wrist is really angled extremely, but I think it's still working. And yeah, this is a backside. If you do a session and you just care about the fingertips, then probably you don't even see the wrist. But anyway, uh, just to show it, just to demonstrate it over here, pointing fingertips on her leg on the ground. Another photo, pointing her fingertips on the ground. Another photo, she's doing something extreme with her body, and I still tell her, please put your tips onto the ground and onto your body. Yeah, just caring about this in the whole session. Over here, even I didn't do it on the head, we did it over here. Hands on the ground, fingertips pointed. Over here, I didn't care so much, just a bit. Over here, again, fingertips slightly pointed. Over here, I didn't care anymore. So, of course, if you do a photo session like this, you practice something, but you don't need to care on each and every single photo. But I would encourage you to do a session where you particularly care about a certain posing of hands and then see how far you can get with it, how it's working out. Learn one thing at a time. Alrighty. I would say that's pretty much it from my side as an intro. Now, I took half an hour to explain the topic. This is quite a lot. I would say let's jump to the questions. Let me have a quick look at the questions. And yeah, there's my good friend, Cousin Sebastian from Good Light Magazine. And he has got a question. How would you pose the hands of a person sitting on a chair? Now, I would say nothing changes. Nothing changes on the chair. Yeah. So you've got the three holy rules: battle bad hands, show the sides, bend beautifully, and exactly the same applies on a chair. I mean, posing the hands, usually you want to express something. Maybe it should be a sexy photo where the model is touching herself by putting the hands somewhere on her body. Maybe it's another formal photo where the hand is on the armchair. However, exactly the same rules apply. Exactly the same rules. Is the mind map available after the webinar? Yes, the mind map, I will make it available. However, it's not so much. I mean, it's really a pretty small map, but of course you can have it. Of course, I will send around a link where to put the hands on the head, behind, on the side, or in the front. And my answer would be there are awesome photos, awesome photographs with all of this, of course. Yeah. But typically, since we have seen a hand is so big, if you have it somewhere in front of the face, then it covers or it draws so much attention. It takes so much away from the face that the face doesn't work on its own anymore. Yeah, so a hand in front of the face would, for me, only work in photographs where you want to communicate hands, where you want to communicate, have a look at her hands. Yeah. So I would go for the side. Yeah, usually my preferred thing is having the hands, if they should be close to the head, then having them at the side of the head, wherever the side is as seen from camera. Yeah, depending on where she's looking at, where her nose is, it might not be the side for her, but it should be the side for my lens. Yeah, it should be the side as seen from the camera. This is my preferred version. But of course, you can also pose them behind the head. Yeah, for instance, if you've got this classic poses where the model is stretching her whole body and showing off a lot of hair, and one hand is in the hair behind her head, that is also working. It's just then probably a good idea to hide the hand completely behind her head and not show one or two fingers. If you go behind the head, then do it completely. Let the hand vanish completely. Otherwise, I would suggest have it next to the head as seen from camera, if that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Then question from Pablo. How about feet? Yeah, feet. Feet. It's actually pretty similar, but they don't play so much of a role usually. Or well, they play a role in photographs where you have feet in there, but I have many, many, many more photographs um, which incorporate hands than photographs which incorporate feet. And from that perspective, for me, the hands are usually first priority. But if I've got feet in there, then some other rules apply. Yeah, some of this is similar. Yeah, I mean, there's also something like bad feet. If they're deformed or if the toes are amputated, then they are yeah, then that's bad feet. However, there's no such rule like show them from the side. Yeah, we don't have this problem so much with the feet, because when photographing feet, we work with the pose to make how to say that, to make the feet drawing not too much attention. However, feet is a completely different topic. There we go into things like how to where to place the feet in relation to each other, what to express with that. And I think that's a good topic for another webinar. However, what I would take away is there is something like bad feet, and don't shoot them. So whenever feet is looking deformed or the toes are amputated, change the posing. Next question. In the photos of cousin Coco, the hands are great, but what about the feet? Any suggestion? Yeah, like I said, this is the thing. If I have a session and I care about hand, then I care not so much about the feet, because I'm practicing hands. Then we have, would you recommend a professional manicure? What kind of nail polish would you recommend? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. If we show hands in a photo, even if they are not so big in a photo, then nice nails and a manicure, um, they make a big, big difference. And of course, it's kind of yeah, it's a matter of taste. Yeah, some models, some women prefer something something complicated. For instance, over here, I think I've got an example photo from our shoot 2 days ago. Yeah, so if the model prefers to have some kind of artwork on her nail, then this is one thing. That's a matter of taste. However, usually our digital photos are so sharp you see the slightest thing on the nails if they are part of the photo. So I would suggest professional manicure. And what my taste is, probably we can ask Emily again and show it on video. Let me call up video over here and let me make this big. Honey, can you show what nails you currently have into the webcam? Yeah, I hope you can see that. Yeah. This is the kind of polish that I prefer for my photography mostly. It's well manicured, it's well made, it's a bit shiny, it's a bit shimmery. It's one color, it's not a big artwork. However, what we have over here is a kind of pattern. Yeah, it's circles. If that is visible via the webcam, it's this one, yeah. It's circles on the nails, and so there's a little bit of a pattern, and that is cool. And this is pretty, how to say that? This is a pretty tricky nail polish because you might think this is very complicated, but do you have this nail polish? Yeah. Okay, let's show that. This is the nail polish that Emily used. It's from MUA. It's a British brand, Magnetic Nails, and it's working like this. She's applying the nail polish, and then in the over here is a magnet. There's a magnet in the nail polish bottle, and when she's holding the magnet over the nail, then this magnet is making this funky patterns. Yeah, so so it's very fast. Yeah, it's a matter of, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, and then the nails are made. However, I prefer that nail polish. And when we have shoots or when we have photos without a color, then I prefer at least a coating, yeah, at least that they're made, manicured very well with a shiny coating on top. Let me make this one smaller again and release you from our video. Yeah, if you have a look over here, the nail is manicured and shiny. There's a reflection. Yeah, reflections on the nails are important to show um, they are made well. Yeah, they're cared. Yeah, the cuticles is really cared, and that makes a huge difference. So, next question. So, what is if the model holds her hand above her head? Yeah, where to put her hands? If she's holding it above her head, well, yeah, then pretty much you have it above her head. Um, the same rules apply. Yeah, the hand above her head is usually looking a kind of like a kind of dancing pose, yeah, kind of attitude shot, and I would again show the hand from the side. I would bend the fingers slightly. I would let me call up this photo, for instance. Yeah, maybe you can see that, Ulf. Um, Here she's holding the fingers above her head. Yeah, we see the side. The fingers are bent slightly. Yeah, and it's above her head. It's a kind of, it's not the most natural pose. Yeah, but it works, sure. Yeah. However, yeah, you have to judge whether this is looking good with your model or not, especially also with the hairdo. Imagine she has got a big hairdo, then this pose or the hands above her head would probably not work. Yeah. So you could try it out, but don't. If it doesn't work, then don't force it. Then just do something else. Put the hands at her hips or next to her cheeks or something. All right, another question. Do you use any props? Do they change your rules? Yes, I do use props, and no, they don't change the rules. Yeah, if you've got props, then yeah, it's especially how to say that it's especially dangerous because they're easy to cut off fingers and to make the whole thing look unpleasant. Yeah, so if the model is holding something, if she's holding a bag or whatever, then again, show the hands from the side, show all the fingers, make the fingers bend, and watch out that not some fingertips are cut it off by grabbing into the prop, unless you want to express that. Yeah? Some photos are working without being too graceful. However, if you want to have graceful photos, then you need to care that you can see the fingers. Then Sebastian is asking, can we please show your lesson in our magazine? Yes, of course. Of course you can do. That is fine. All right. Question from cousin Matthias. How about retouch of hands? I guess you want to be careful with the wrinkles around the knuckles to make it look natural. So what are your thoughts about retouch of hands? Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. I generally want to keep the texture of the skin, and the same accounts for hands. Yeah, if I have hands, let's bring up an example again. I want to see the pores over here. Let's bring up a nicer example, this one. I wouldn't retouch them in a way that the texture of skin is getting lost. Yeah, this would look unnatural. The same is for all the blood vessels over here. I wouldn't retouch it so much that the blood vessels are just gone, because that is looking like a robot hand. I know some magazines do that, some magazines like that. I believe that currently we see a trend towards a more natural, more matte look again. Yeah, for some of you who are on who are using Windows, yeah, currently the Windows Metro look is yeah, getting popular in the computing scene, which is not shiny anymore, not glossy. It's just matte and clean and so on. I believe that we see a similar trend in photography. So I would probably go away a bit from the shininess and go more into the matte tones if I would shoot for a magazine. However, what I always do is I keep the skin texture. I will tone down, yeah, or my retoucher will tone down the blood vessels so that the hand is looking younger, but only to a degree where you can still see the blood vessels. Yeah, because when you can't see them anymore, then the photo is not real anymore. It's not convincing anymore. It's looking like purely photoshopped. And I don't want that. Now, other people like it, other people do it. So if that is your style, if plastic skin is your style, nothing wrong with that. You can retouch the whole thing away. What happens then quite often to hands is then they start looking a bit bulky or a bit like swollen. Yeah, because in reality, a hand with no blood vessels and no strings and bones at all is a hand which is swollen after an accident or something. So be a bit careful about that. However, you can tone down all the texture over here to make the hand looking a bit younger. And what I would definitely retouch away is scars like over here. It's like a vampire bite, two little scars. Unless the model, really want her scars. Otherwise, I would retouch that away completely, but not the rest. Alrighty. All right. If you don't have any more questions, I would say thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much for attending. I hope you could get the one or the other tip out of this webinar. I hope you can use the free holy hand rules. Yeah, battle bad hands, show the sides, bend them beautifully, and you can improve your photographs a little bit with that. Yeah, if that happens, then I would be very, very happy. I'm happy if you can post examples or if you can give me feedback whether this was helpful or not. And yeah, probably show me your hand photos or the photos where you particularly paid attention to the hands. Alrighty. Thank you very much. And I wish you good light.